Picture this: a car so rare, so valuable that it sold for $142 million. That's more than most people will earn in 10 lifetimes, all for a single automobile. And that's just number one on our list today. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into the world's most exclusive automotive treasures. These aren't just rare cars, these are machines so scarce that some exist in single digits, locked away in climate-controlled collections, or behind museum glass. We're talking about the holy grails of the car world, the legends that redefine what it means to be truly priceless. So buckle up, because you're about to discover 10 classic cars that have virtually vanished from the roads, and the fascinating stories behind why they're so incredibly rare. Car number 10. Tucker 48, the car that was too good. Let's start with a car that was literally too innovative for its own good. The Tucker 48. Back in 1948, Preston Tucker had a vision that would make modern car manufacturers jealous. He designed a car with a rear-mounted flat-six aircraft engine, a safety crash cell that was decades ahead of its time, and get this, a third center-mounted headlight that actually turned with the steering wheel. Imagine that in 1948. The Tucker 48 could hit 120 miles per hour, featured a padded dashboard for safety, and had a pop-out windshield designed to protect passengers in a crash. It was revolutionary. The problem? It was perhaps too revolutionary. After building just 51 cars, including the prototype, the Tucker Corporation filed for bankruptcy. Some say it was financial mismanagement. Others whisper about pressure from the big Detroit automakers who didn't want this upstart showing them up. Today, most of those 48 production models still exist, carefully preserved by collectors who understand they own a piece of automotive what could have been history. These cars rarely change hands, and when they do, they command prices well into the seven figures. You won't see one on the road because each one is treated like the museum piece it truly is. Car number 9. Porsche 916, the sports car that never was. Here's a heartbreaker for Porsche enthusiasts: the 916. In 1972, Porsche created what should have been their ultimate sports car. They took the best of the 911 and made it lighter, faster, and more exclusive. With a top speed of 233 kilometers per hour, it was the fastest and lightest Porsche ever built at that time. So what went wrong? Economics. Porsche planned to sell the 916 for $14,000, but that was $3,000 more than a standard 911 of the same year. The company's bean counters ran the numbers and realized that at that price point, they wouldn't sell enough to make production viable. The project was canceled, but here's the kicker: they'd already built 11 prototypes. Just 11. Those 11 cars represent one of the biggest what-ifs in Porsche history. If you're lucky enough to see one, you're witnessing automotive history. Most are locked away in private collections or the Porsche Museum itself. The 916 remains Porsche's rarest production model, a testament to the sports car that could have changed everything but never got the chance. Car number 8. Jaguar XKSS, born from fire. Sometimes rarity comes from tragedy. The Jaguar XKSS has one of the most dramatic origin stories in automotive history. Jaguar had been dominating racing with their D-type race cars, but when they withdrew from competition in 1955, they had a problem. What do you do with leftover race cars? Jaguar's solution was brilliant: convert them into road-legal versions. They called it the XKSS. The transformation was relatively simple, adding a passenger seat, a rudimentary windscreen, and just enough creature comforts to technically make it street legal. These were race cars you could drive to the grocery store if you were brave enough. 25 cars were planned, 16 were completed, then disaster struck. On February 12, 1957, a massive fire broke out at Jaguar's Browns Lane factory in Coventry. 9 of the remaining XKSS chassis that were being assembled were completely destroyed in the inferno. Just like that, 9 potential cars turned to ash and twisted metal. Today, only 16 original XKSS models exist in the world. Each one is a survivor of that terrible night. Jaguar actually revived the model in 2016, building 9 continuation cars to replace the ones lost in the fire. But the originals remain among the most sought-after British sports cars ever made. Steve McQueen famously owned one. That alone tells you everything you need to know about the XKSS's legendary status. Car number 7, Bugatti Type 41 Royale, luxury on a royal scale. When Ettore Bugatti set out to build the ultimate luxury car in the late 1920s, he didn't do anything by halves. The Type 41, better known as the Royale, was designed specifically for royalty, hence the name. This wasn't just a car, it was a statement, a palace on wheels. The numbers are almost comical. The Royale had a 12.76 3-liter straight-8 engine. That's nearly 13 liters of displacement. The car stretched 252 inches long. To put that in perspective, a modern Chevrolet Suburban is about 225 inches. The Royale was designed to be the most exclusive, most expensive, most impressive automobile money could buy. Bugatti originally planned to build 25 of them, selling only to heads of state and royalty. But then came the Great Depression. When the world's economy collapsed, even kings and emperors weren't exactly in the market for extravagantly expensive automobiles. Of the 6 Royales actually built between 1929 and 1933, not a single one was sold to royalty. Here's the irony. The cars intended for kings ended up being bought by wealthy industrialists instead. Today, all 6 surviving Royales are accounted for. They're spread across museums and the most elite private collections in the world. One hasn't been sold publicly in decades, and if one did come up for auction, experts estimate it could fetch well over $100 million. Not bad for a car that completely failed to meet its original sales goals. Car number 6, Talbot-Lago Grand Sport, the elegant survivor. French automotive excellence reached its peak with the Talbot-Lago Grand Sport. Introduced in 1948, this car represented the pinnacle of post-war European grand touring. Talbot-Lago was known for producing both everyday vehicles and Formula One race cars, but the Grand Sport was something special. The company offered 2 versions, a racing variant and a luxury touring model. It's the luxury version that makes our list today. With bodies crafted by the finest French coach builders, each car was essentially a rolling work of art. Hand-formed aluminum panels, elegant proportions, and performance that could back up the looks. Only 12 examples of the luxury Grand Sport were ever manufactured. 12. Each one was essentially bespoke, tailored to its owner's specifications. These cars competed at Le Mans, cruised the boulevards of Paris, and represented the height of French automotive ambition in the difficult years following World War II. Finding one today is nearly impossible. They're tucked away in the world's most prestigious collections, occasionally appearing at events like the Pebble Beach Concours d'Elegance, where automotive royalty gathers. The Talbot-Lago Grand Sport remains a reminder of an era when cars were still coach-built, when each example was unique, and when a dozen cars could represent an entire model line. Car number 5, Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale, Italian perfection in miniature. When you think of rare Italian supercars, your mind probably goes to Ferrari or Lamborghini. But let me introduce you to something even more exclusive, the Alfa Romeo 33 Stradale. Built in 1967, this is a car that automotive journalists have called one of the most beautiful automobiles ever created. The numbers tell part of the story. A 2.0-liter V8 engine might not sound impressive by modern standards, but in the lightweight Stradale, it was enough to hit 60 miles per hour in just 5.5 seconds and reach a top speed of 160 miles per hour. The 6-speed Collodi manual gearbox was cutting-edge technology for its era, but the real magic was in the design. Franco Scaglione created bodywork that looked like it was carved from a single piece of aluminum. Those curves, those proportions, the way light plays across the surface. The 33 Stradale wasn't just fast, it was art. Here's the thing, only 18 were ever built. Some sources say 17. The exact number is lost to history because Alfa Romeo's records from that era aren't perfect. What we do know is that these cars were originally priced at a whopping 10 million Italian lira, making them one of the most expensive cars available at the time. In today's money, that would be well over $100,000. You can see one at the Alfa Romeo Museum in Rarest, Italy. As for the others, they're scattered among the world's most serious collectors. The 33 Stradale represents Italian engineering and design at its absolute peak, frozen in time in less than 20 examples. Car number 4, Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato. British muscle meets Italian style. What happens when you take British engineering and Italian coach building and combine them? You get something extraordinary. The Aston Martin DB4 GT Zagato is the result of Aston Martin partnering with the legendary Zagato coach building firm to create the ultimate lightweight Grand Tourer. Based on the already impressive DB4 GT, the Zagato version stripped away weight and added aggressive Italian styling. The goal was to create a car that could compete with Ferrari on the racetrack while still being civilized enough for the street. The result was spectacular. Only 19 original DB4 GT Zagatos were built between 1960 and 1963. 19. Each one was essentially handmade, with Zagato's craftsmen hammering aluminum body panels over wooden frames in the traditional Italian way. No two are exactly alike. One of these cars sold at auction in 2015 for $14.3 million. That's not a typo. The DB4 GT Zagato has become so valuable that it was included in an exhibition at the High Museum of Art in Atlanta, celebrating the golden age of automotive design from the 1930s through the 1960s. When your car ends up in an art museum, you know you've created something special. Aston Martin has since created continuation cars, building new DB4 GT Zagatos using the original specifications. But the original 19 remain the holy grail for Aston collectors worldwide. Car number 3, Ferrari 250 GTO, the holy grail. We need to talk about the Ferrari 250 GTO. For many collectors, this is the ultimate car, the one they dream about, the automotive equivalent of finding the Holy Grail. Between 1962 and 1964, Ferrari built 36 examples of the 250 GTO. That's it, 36. The cars were designed to dominate GT racing, and dominate they did. Ferrari won the International Championship for GT manufacturers in 1962, 1963, and 1964, with the GTO leading the charge. But here's what makes the 250 GTO truly special. Every single one of the 36 cars is accounted for. We know where each one is. We know who owns them. It's like a registry of automotive royalty. Among the owners over the years have been fashion mogul Ralph Lauren, who paid $650,000 for his in 1985, and Nick Mason, the drummer for Pink Floyd. In 2018, a 250 GTO sold in a private sale for $70 million. $70 million. That was the record until the car at number 1 on our list broke it. But even at $70 million, the 250 GTO represents the peak of collectible car values. Why are they so valuable? It's the perfect combination of beauty, performance, racing pedigree, and extreme rarity. The 250 GTO was powered by Ferrari's 3-liter Colombo V12 engine, one of the greatest racing engines ever built. The bodies were hand-formed by Scaglietti, one of the legendary Italian coach builders. And that shape, those curves, that aggressive stance, it's what people think of when they imagine the perfect Ferrari. You won't see a 250 GTO on the road. These cars are driven maybe once or twice a year at exclusive events where owners who paid 8 figures for their cars take them out for carefully controlled vintage races or concours competitions. The rest of the time, they sit in climate-controlled garages, appreciating in value. The Ferrari 250 GTO isn't just a car, it's an investment, a work of art, and a piece of racing history all rolled into one. Car number 2, Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR, the silver arrow that never raced. Before we get to number 1, we need to talk about one of the most tragic stories in automotive history. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR was supposed to change everything. Based on the championship-winning W196 Formula One car, the 300 SLR dominated sports car racing in 1955. Sterling Moss called it the greatest sports racing car ever built. But Mercedes had bigger plans. Chief Engineer Rudolf Uhlenhaut ordered 2 of the racing chassis to be converted into road-legal versions with beautiful gull-wing door coupe bodies. These were to race in the 1956 Carrera Panamericana in Mexico. The cars were completed and ready to go. Then came the Le Mans disaster of 1955. During the race, a 300 SLR driven by Pierre Levay crashed into the spectator area, killing more than 80 people. The cars were built with magnesium alloy bodywork to save weight, and when the car crashed, the magnesium ignited in a massive fireball. It was one of motorsport's darkest days. Mercedes withdrew from racing completely. The Carrera Panamericana was canceled, and those 2 road-going 300 SLR coupes, now called the Uhlenhaut Coupes after their designer, suddenly had no purpose. Uhlenhaut appropriated one as his personal company car. Stories circulate about him driving the 180-mile-per-hour coupe on the Autobahn, covering the journey from Munich to Stuttgart in just over an hour, a trip that normally takes 2.5 hours. The other car remained at the factory. These 2 cars are identical in every way except their interiors. One has red upholstery and is nicknamed Red, while the other has blue and is called Blue. Both survive to the present day. One is permanently displayed at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart. The other, well, that brings us to number 1. Car number 1, Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe, the most valuable car ever sold. In May 2022, something unprecedented happened in the automotive world. Mercedes-Benz announced they were selling one of the 2 Uhlenhaut Coupes. Collectors around the world were stunned. Most assumed both cars were sacrosanct, that Mercedes would never let them go. The auction was held at the Mercedes-Benz Museum in Stuttgart. It was invitation only. R.M. Sotheby's, one of the world's premier auction houses, handled the sale. The bidders were selected Mercedes customers and international collectors of cars and art who shared Mercedes-Benz's corporate values. The bidding started at a price higher than the previous record holder, the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO that sold for $48 million. Then it kept going and going. When the hammer finally fell, the sale price was 135 million euros. That's approximately 142 million US dollars. It shattered the previous record by more than 90 million euros. It wasn't even close. The 1955 Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe became and remains the most valuable car ever sold. What makes it worth that much? You're looking at one of only 2 examples of what many consider the most beautiful and historically significant car ever built. It's powered by a 3-liter straight-8 engine derived from a Formula One car. It was capable of competing with the fastest race cars of its era while being fully street legal. It represents the peak of Mercedes' Silver Arrow's racing heritage before their tragic withdrawal from motorsport. And here's the beautiful part. Mercedes used the proceeds to establish the Mercedes-Benz Fund, providing educational and research scholarships in environmental science and decarbonization for young people. The most expensive car ever sold is now funding the future. The buyer, whose identity remains private, agreed that the car will remain accessible for public display on special occasions. But make no mistake, you will never see this car on public roads. It's too valuable, too significant, too rare. It exists in a category all its own. The other Uhlenhaut Coupe, the one with blue interior, remains at the Mercedes Museum where you can see it on display. But that's as close as most of us will ever get to these ultimate automotive treasures. So there you have it. 10 classic cars that have essentially vanished from public roads. From the Tucker that was ahead of its time to the ultimate prize, the Mercedes-Benz 300 SLR Uhlenhaut Coupe, the most valuable car ever sold. These aren't just cars, they're rolling sculptures, engineering masterpieces, and pieces of history preserved in metal and rubber. The next time you spot one of these ultra-rare classics at a car show or museum, remember, you're witnessing automotive royalty that most people will never see in person. What's the rarest car you've ever seen? Drop a comment below. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, hit that like button and subscribe for more incredible car content. Thanks for watching, and remember, the rarest cars aren't always the ones that sold the most. Sometimes they're the ones that almost never existed at all. Until next time, keep your eyes on the road and your dreams in the fast lane.